I think we're good.
Yep.
Go and double check.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so it's 7 p.m. I will call the meeting to order. It is October 17th, 2024. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Roll call.
Gonzalez, absent. Masajek, here. Flores,
Here.
Pelletier, here. Puzo,
Here.
Hussein, not yet. Jost, here. Thank you.
Next, public comments, agenda items only. That would be you, sir.
Again? No public comments. Just
Okay.
glad to be here.
All right. Next, is there anything that anyone would like to pull off the consent agenda? Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Masajek,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Puzo,
Yes.
Jost.
Yes.
All right. So, next is President's Report, and I wanted to share, I know Lima and I tuned into this webinar. This was the Banned Books 101, what library board and trustees need to know. I know that it was good information, yeah. Even just they presented, I actually took a picture because it was like the numbers were just kind of blowing my mind that just in 2019 there were 377 challenges for book titles. In 2023 there were 4,240. So it just kind of solidified why why this is such hard work for so many libraries, and you know how we can keep the dialogue going so we can make sure that our books and our information is protected. And one of the things that they, I know Lima, you highlighted as well too, was leading through crisis and what kind of communication that you can put out there. Were you able to tune in as well to that?
The crisis communication one, I did one on crisis communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything on that you, do you just have it for reference for you? Is there anything that you want to?
There were some really good ideas, and I would like to put together some thoughts for the board. I haven't done that yet. I know that Lima had suggested that might be a good idea as well, because I think not only for the board but for some of the managers as well, just to have that. We're very fortunate here. We don't get a lot of that kind of thing, but it does happen occasionally, and I think that if nothing else, it's just another tool, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be necessarily a crisis, but there was some really good, just general communication sorts of things. So, so I do plan on pulling together something a little bit more formalized that people can refer back to and that kind of thing. So, but I also thought it was very good.
Yeah.
Was that the one where she was a former journalist, the speaker, or something in the news media?
No.
The crisis one? No.
Um.
I don't know what I watched.
But to me, though, both of those webinars, I could see links between them, and it was nice to have the crisis management and exposure first, because if you get those components identified, how you want to do it at your library, and everybody is kind of up to speed.
Yeah, how you respond to those kinds of
Yes,
things,
then
be it a request for reconsideration or a true crisis, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
But then you're also more prepared if you get book banning
Right.
issues coming up. So to me, they're related, and it made sense to take both of them.
Yeah.
So hopefully, and if you need anything from us,
I will let you know.
Okay.
Thank you. If for the rest of the board, I do think both of those. I think I did send the links, and I think they're not good indefinitely, but one or two of them might still be good. But they were well worth it. If you haven't seen them.
just wanted to share that. Committee reports, so finance we covered under a consent agenda, nothing for facilities this month, and for policy, I know that you're looking at scheduling a meeting, you know,
Yeah.
for the next time.
Yep.
Yep, got it. Staff reports, tell us how ILA was.
ILA was really good, so, my brain is a little overloaded. You know, I mean, from both networking and that there was a number of really good, programs throughout the conference. I will recommend to that. I just actually filled out the evaluation form for ILA, and one of my comments was that I thought that the programs. So they always have a trustee day, which is usually the last day of the conference, and so I usually tend to go to a few of those just so in case there's anything that I want to share with the trustees. But next year in October 14th and 15th, don't write that down because I'm not exactly sure, I can't remember the exact dates, but it's ILA is usually in October. They alternate between having it downstate, usually Central Illinois, and then up here in Rosemont, and I would recommend that if it's at all possible that some of the trustees do think about attending at least for trustee day, because I think there was a number of things that would have been really, that they'll be useful and information that I will certainly be sharing with the board as well, but I think they gave some really good information, particularly for looking at potentially new trustees on the board. Yeah, it was really good. Like I said, it's always a good opportunity to. I did a lot of networking this time. Just you know, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been a librarian for a long time and a director for a while now. But you know, there's always you know, even things that you think, oh, I've seen this, you know, so many times, that kind of thing. I always try to take away, you know, one or two things, and it's always good to listen to the new things that are coming out. Like I said, I mean, on the flip side, I have been doing this a long time, so it's always good to hear new ideas. So yeah, it was pretty good. I'm going to do a more detailed report for next month.
Great.
So.
Great. Are there any questions for Pam? Layton, are you settling in?
Well, yeah,
Good.
that's been going great.
Good. Since we're under staff reports, since you two gentlemen are here, would you like to share?
Yeah, I asked Jeff, so if he and Sean could come and just give a brief rundown of how passport services are going. I thought the board would like to hear this, since this is kind of a big deal for us, but he's been really working hard on it, so.
Yeah, I just wanted to also formally introduce our Access Services Assistant Manager, Sean Cherian. He's been a huge asset not only to the department but to the library. His position has helped facilitate the addition of a lot of these new services. So I just wanted you guys to formally meet Sean and know what a huge asset he is to our department. So we did start Passport Services, kind of a soft rollout this week. Staff went through additional training earlier in the month, late last month, to kind of get refreshed on some of the procedures. We've already done 7 applications this week. Yeah. So we've kind of met what our quota we thought could be for weekly, like 1 a day. So
I think we're gonna far exceed that. But
yeah. So I mean, we still have tomorrow because essentially we had a family that came back tonight from earlier this week who needed to come back, and then I had 2 random phone calls today of people interested, and one of them came in and actually we submitted the application and processed it. So I think that this is going to be a really popular service. And I know before we offered this service, we were getting a lot of inquiries into whether we did do this or not. So I'm excited to get it going. And
so we're doing it right now on an appointment basis. So and Jeff is, at least to start with, allotted an hour for each appointment, but that's so that they can really take their time in going through each step. And one of the other things that Jeff is doing is he's having at least 1 or 2 other people sit in for each time, so everyone has some exposure to that, to the process.
Yeah, one of the things I did was I went and visited libraries who provide this service. And, you know, one of my biggest fears is how do you train staff? Because we went through the training through the State Department, but it was okay. So I said, well, how did you guys train staff? They're like, they sit and watch for at least 2 to 3 weeks to get, you know, and Sean and I, what we've experienced already is from the first passport I did to the one tonight, it's night and day just of how easier it is to go through the process. You kind of need to be inundated with applications and just kind of learn as you're doing it, and it becomes second nature almost. So, and our goal, we were doing a soft rollout this week, continue the soft rollout next week by having the webpage go live on our website.
So right now, the only place that people are seeing that we do this is on the State Department website. So if people are searching for a place that they can do
Wow, and you
passport
had that many
acceptance.
appointments
Yeah.
just from
Is,
that.
so we get that call. So next week, we're gonna put it, as Jeff mentioned, on the website, but no publicity. It'll just be a link on the website to it. And then,
So, and I think what's interesting is, so when you search for facilities that do this in the area, it comes up in alphabetical order. And the person who came in today was like, I was calling the State Department and they named you as a place to go. And I kind of figured the reason why that happened is because alphabetically, we come before Niles Township Center, we come before Niles Public Library, we go, I don't know how the post office is listed, so we might be getting a lot of hits based just on our name as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, right now the website isn't currently live to patrons. Only through, if you search through the State Department, I've instructed staff to kind of forward those requests on to myself, and we're just filling appointments that way. Next week, we want our webpage to go live on our website, which will give all the instructions, the ability for patrons and staff to make appointments if need be, see kind of how that goes and see how many requests we get, and then from there start really
but
promoting
we'll see
it.
if we have to publicize.
Yeah,
Right? I mean,
so
that's
some
the
libraries
thing.
don't,
Right.
because they
Yeah.
just get so many already, they don't need to.
But I also wonder if it might be tied into the State Department issued a notification last month that there's, the public can now go online and renew their passports themselves. So maybe it's tied into that too, there's kind of more attention to it
Yeah.
lately and.
People are checking.
Could be.
One of the other things that we've decided that after this first week or so, in the comments that we've gotten and some of the issues that Jeff has run into as he's been doing this, particularly for the family that was here last night and that came back tonight, was the photos. And the State Department has told us that basically most of the issues that people have with their passports are that the photos don't meet they're not correct. Either
They're not
the
distinct.
background's not right, or they're too dark, or they're off center, or whatever the case may be. And so even places that publicize that they do it, like say Walgreens or CVS, those kinds of things, sometimes people have issues with that. So we are actually looking into purchasing the photo taking equipment. And probably will end up doing the photos as well, that we can then, there'll be a small additional charge for that, but it would hopefully then minimize some of that frustration or pain point where if people are sitting here and they've got everything else done and, we're looking at it and going, well, we don't think that the State Department is gonna take your photo, that, gives us opportunity to make sure that they're correct, so.
And that is a lot of what I heard when I went and visited libraries, that it really depended on who was at Walgreens at the time. Because you get one person who kind of knows what they're doing, and then Smiles goes at a different time to the same location, and it's a completely different outcome for what they get. So just want to try to avoid those issues for people that are applying.
Well, this library has a rep out there, so people are expecting to have good service.
Who knows, we might expand to graduation wedding photos.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks for the update.
Awesome,
Anyway,
thank you.
thank you, Jeff. I
And
know you're-
welcome.
You're anxious to
Yep,
go
thank
home, and
you.
thanks, Sean. So, yeah, and Jeff is right. Sean has been a huge asset to the department and the library, and we're super excited. that he's
We're
here.
glad you're here.
Yeah, yeah, really great. Awesome. Thanks, Jeff.
Yep, thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the other things that I suggested, since we don't have a lot of items on the agenda, is if we wanted to talk about the director review first and then do the budget, and hopefully Mohammed would be here.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
yeah.
Yeah. They're talking really slow. Okay.
Everyone make comments.
Well, with the director review, so if you look at the first page, the director evaluation record gives our example timeline. So all trustees must return completed forms by the 4th October, 4th Thursday in October. What I was looking at was, what does everyone think of getting in the evaluations between Friday, November 1st and Monday, November 4th? So that gives you about 2 weeks or so. Is that reasonable?
Could you give me those dates?
Friday, November 1st, and then just in case Friday's not good for you, like, and then over the weekend, then Monday, November 4th. Similar to last year, you can either do paper copy, put it in an envelope and drop it up to Layton, and I can pick it up. I think a lot of people ended up emailing me last year, so either one is fine. Is that reasonable to, I can email Carlotta and make sure Mohammed knows too. But so then that gives everybody about 2 weeks, and then the rest of the timeline can line up, because then that gives, because our November meeting is November 14th. So then that gives me and Joanne and Carlotta that week, like the 5th through the 8th, and then that next week before the meeting. I feel like the three of us can put our heads together and figure out our time.
Works.
Yeah? Okay. And then we'd be on track to keep with that schedule. And, I mean, we can vote on the budget without. I'm like,
When he called me to tell me,
Anyone
he
reading anything good
anticipated
lately?
that the meeting would be long, and I said, well, usually the longer budget meeting is the first one.
Yeah,
right.
And I said, because I have to prepare all the documentation for signing for this one, so I said, and no one had gotten back with me about any concerns or anything, so I said,
Yeah.
I think it'll be pretty quick, so.
Going back to passports, Olivia, was she the first one that they
Yes.
did? We were
Oh,
here on
really?
Monday, yeah, and went through the process, and they were so sweet, they're four,
Yeah.
checking off the list, but really, I think we were done in like 15, 20 minutes,
Oh,
we got
really?
all the form, it was,
Yeah.
it was quick.
Yeah, the
Very
family
nice.
yesterday, it took them a long time because they had, not all the documentation was complete, so there was some.
And that's why
that.
you do need extra time to like help
Right,
people that have
and
not done it
and
before.
they were, one of them had to renew, which they do online, we don't do the renewals, but it was for, children, so they had 3 or 4 kids that needed to get passports, and so it really, it was,
Yeah.
it was a time-consuming process, and the family was so sweet or whatever, because then at the end, you know, when Jeff told them how much it would cost, and she's like, this is all you're getting for all of this work that you've done? And he said, no, he says, you have given us something invaluable, it's
the
all
experience.
the experience and the training and going through everything
Yeah.
and trying to anticipate some of the issues and stuff, so, you know, and I think a couple of people were a little bit freaked out because there was just a number of little things, right, that weren't done, but most of them are gonna go fairly smoothly and stuff, but, and again, you know, providing the photos, we think will be, you know,
Yeah.
eliminate what we have heard and
Yeah.
seen is that it can, you know, the photos are sometimes not correct, so, yeah, so yeah.
well, good. I'm glad your experience was nice and smooth.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the family that came in yesterday or whatever, they were actually, it was really, I mean, people are looking for places they can go in the evenings and on the weekends, right? Because the post office isn't open and the
Especially when
township
you have to
offices
bring your
aren't
child,
open.
you don't wanna have to
Yeah.
come out of school to go get a passport, you know,
Yeah.
it's nice
Yeah.
to do it.
Well,
from
yeah,
after
and
school.
not only do you have to have your kid, but you have to have both parents
Right,
there.
yes,
Oh,
that
really?
too, yes.
Or you have to, both parents have to be there along with the child, or you have to have a notarized document saying that you have given the other parent permission to get the passport, so, yeah, my son and daughter-in-law just went through that because we're going to St. Martin with the baby this year, so. Yeah, so that was, but I mean, so it's like listening to them talk about, how difficult it was to get a picture of the baby, I'm like,
Oh,
sure. And so, you know, Eleanor was not sitting still for anything, but then, yeah, and then you've gotta, you know, both be there for the passport thing, and so people have to take off work and that sort of thing, so the ability to offer the service in the evenings and on the weekends, I think will be great. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, you might not have to publicize very much.
Well, we'll see, because
Yeah.
we're gonna put, the link will be on the drop-down under services, so that will be there, and then on where they have those 5 icons where it's like museum passes and
something else and something else, and so we're removing two of like, it was like museum passes, curbside, I don't know what the other ones were, but, so we're removing curbside and we're gonna put, passport acceptance, service, and then, the support the library donation button, which no one clicks on, so we're removing that, and, we're gonna do the license plate stickers there,
Okay.
so. Yeah, so, because we thought, oh, if we put a button, and like, because we kind of call these things citizen services, but that's kind of meaningless, I think, to patrons, right? So we thought we'd spell them out. So, yeah, so I mean, they're gonna be really super visible on the website, because those icons are gonna be right there, so we might not have to. So, yeah, Jeff came in, he's like, we've already met our quota that we stand on this week.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And then the Gateway ribbon cutting, Gateway Plaza ribbon cutting is
Next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
24th,
That's a Thursday.
Thursday?
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh,
Yeah, super convenient time.
Yeah,
sorry, I can't.
Well, and I want to go see and take a picture of our bricks, but I don't know what else is
the
going
second
to
one.
be.
I'm like, where's the? Oh, it's cute. Hats off to the like the.
Yeah,
library.
it was
that was
from
cute.
Diane Gray.
Diane
Aw.
Grace, she's a huge library supporter, and I think she actually applied to be appointed at one point. But she's always raving about the library and bringing in treats and stuff. And so after they were selling the bricks, and I knew I was going to get one for the library, that the library got one, but then she had told someone that she bought one in honor of the library. So.
She actually took a picture of it and sent it to me.
Oh, did she?
And also Ed and I had gotten a family brick.
Okay.
Yeah,
She took a
I saw
picture of
that.
that too. She's very
Yeah, so I haven't been over there yet to see where they are. I just have the map, but I'm
Yeah.
planning on going. So
Yeah. No, but thank you for letting us.
Yeah.
Letting us know that. All right, I'm still
Yeah.
trying to waste time. What is everyone reading right now? So, okay. Well, I am assuming.
I guess just one other thing about this.
Please, yes, go ahead.
So I did my progress towards my 2024 goals. I did a September update. I will do one in November if that's enough time, but you'll already have these turned in. Is there anything else that you would like me to prepare before you guys fill out the evaluation forms? I know I typically do some of the salary information for you, but is there anything else that the board wants to see from me before you start
Just
to
for
fill out?
the evaluation part.
Right, just
Everyone
for
has the September progress towards goals. I don't think so. Can anyone think of anything that they would like? Okay.
If you think of something, or if you have a question about something as you're filling out the evaluation forms, just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. So, no one has said anything to Pam in terms of anything they wanted to change with the budget. So, this is, we still have a copy of the 2025 budget. Are there any questions that anyone wanted to bring up? Is everyone still feeling the same as we were last month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the 2025 budget with a 4.85 increase in the tax levy totaling $3,908,828, and overall budget and expenditures totaling $4,086,844. Sorry, it sounded like thank you. It sounded like I was going to say more. I'm just not used to saying those big numbers.
I'm just gonna need a second to.
Yeah, did you get all that?
Yeah.
Did you get all of it?
Slow it down.
We have a form, right?
We do, yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah.
The quorum is 4.
Yeah, I just take the roll call.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have a second yet?
Oh, I seconded.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear me. So I guess I do remember my name now. Flores? We're voting to approve the budget. Pelletier, yes. Puzo?
Yes.
Jost?
Yes.
Lisa Jeff?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, communications, nothing. Yeah, curious to see how that, did you get that email from, what's his, Chuck? Chuck, there was a committee outreach meeting tonight,
Yeah.
right before, yes, at six.
Karina is actually.
Oh, okay, great,
Yeah, so-
okay.
So,
Just curious to.
yeah,
see
we,
who went or-
they usually do them, like once a quarter.
Okay.
So, we've been going to them, so
Okay.
either I do it or Karina, or we've had other staff members that are, like, one of the circulation clerks is a
Yeah.
Willow Grove resident, and she's super friendly, Susan Polis, she's done it a couple times, so, but Karina's there tonight,
Great.
so.
Okay, public comments, non-agenda items.
Oh, me again.
Yeah.
A quick question. With the book titles, what is the definition of crisis? So, the questioning book titles and what's gonna go on the shelves and what's not, or challenges or whatever, but what is a crisis around that?
Well, there were, one thing I should clarify, that there were two different webinars. There was one on crisis
Right.
communication and one on
Crisis management.
crisis management, thank you, and one on book bans, so.
And they weren't the same thing?
Correct.
Right.
Okay, then I probably
Yes.
have a bad question.
Sorry, that was probably, there were two webinars and I
There were
kind
two
of
webinars.
smushed them a little
Okay.
bit.
So crisis is crisis, I got that. I couldn't figure it around the book titles.
Yes.
I mean, a crisis around, our official name for that is request for reconsideration.
Right, you told me.
And we have that process both for print materials, but also we just recently passed a new programming policy, so also with that. But something could be could kind of rise to the level of a crisis if, for example, there was a large community outcry or our outside community groups coming in and wanting to, politicize something, that kind of
Yes.
thing.
Okay,
So
that makes
so something like that could rise to that level of crisis, but by and large, when we've had requests for reconsideration, they're handled pretty
Straightforward, yeah.
straightforwardly, politely, the
Yeah.
people that have come before the board, and
Okay.
if they haven't liked, the decision that I've made, that kind of thing, people are usually pretty good about that, but.
And thankfully, we've had, not something that we've had to deal with very often, the book ban or crisis, thankfully. But I think it's just prudent to just
Always be prepared.
always be prepared, so,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you, and I'll give you one more compliment, as I'm doing signatures to see what happens here. And my neighbor, she said, I'll help you. She said, I don't use the library very much, but when I go in there, they are the nicest people. From last month's meeting anyway, so I pass along
Thank you.
the compliment to all of you.
Yeah. We have the best staff. We agree, so, thank you though. Yeah. Thanks for coming again.
You bet.
All right, so we got through our meeting. It is 7:29.